Good morning. Welcome to Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Neil Long. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so happy that you've chosen this sanctuary and time, that you're here is something to celebrate. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors. We'll be waiting to chat with you at the welcome desk after the service. Remember, we were all newcomers once. And if you're joining us online, please say hello in the chat. We now invite everyone to rise and greet one another.
Good morning. Oh, I'm so happy to see y'all. It's so cold. Ugh. You would think I'm not from Kansas City, but. Okay, so we have a few announcements. First, I'd like to welcome our guest speaker, Rabbi Moti Reber. Rabbi Moti is a rabbi, husband, father, teacher, and activist. Please join me in welcoming him. We'd also like to take a moment to thank and welcome Jacob Thomas for sharing his talents with us on the piano. Okay, so today the Social Justice Committee is meeting in room 4 after service. The Women in Femmes book discussion group will be discussing, excuse me, Christ, Our Black Mother Speaks from 3:30 to 5 in room 4 on Wednesday, the 21st. The Women in Femmes will also be hosting a midwinter celebration on Sunday, February 1st at 5 p.m. in the Fellowship Hall. RE, that's me, will be hosting a discussion on the documentary Land of Opportunity, The Road to Resistance, on the history of 71 Highway and the implications of where it's located. And we'll do that in room 4 on Wednesday, the 21st. Lots of things are happening on the 21st. Next, we have a message from our member and House Representative Joella Hoy, whose work in the legislature is taking her into conversations that are intense, scary, and on behalf of us. So when Rev Rose saw her at the Capitol on Wednesday, she asked us to alert you to a local issue. Okay, so there's a proposal going in to create Habitat for Humanity housing in Lenexa. She believes the city will vote for it, but it is always so important that the council get a lot of support in that direction. Thus, if you live in Lenexa and are in favor of affordable housing, please email your city council member saying that you think Habitat for Humanity would be great neighbors. And please remember that it goes into the public record, so therefore don't disclose too much personal information. And be polite. Lastly, Lucy and Charlie Brown are here with some auction news.
What's the matter, Lucy?
What's wrong? What's wrong? Just look at us. We're in our 70s, and we've been coming to this stupid classroom since the 1960s.
Yeah, and that old witch, Miss Othmar, she must be 150 years old by now.
Yes, Miss Othmar.
Othmar.
No, Miss Othmar. Sorry, Miss Othmar. We were just talking about...
About our church auction.
Yeah, the church auction.
How's it going? Well, we didn't really know how it's going. We don't really know how it's going.
Wait a minute. How do you have all the information about the auction? This is an outrage. We're in charge, but we're totally in the dark, and yet you know everything. Yes, Miss Othmar. Sorry, Miss Othmar.
So, what can you tell us, Miss Othmar? Are we getting donations? 29 items have been donated so far, worth over $7,000?
But what about cash? Cold, hard cash. Any of those donations yet? $1,000?
We will, Miss Othmar. Miss Othmar says to encourage everyone to keep making donations online. Use the link in your all-church email, the QR code on signs posted around the church, or talk to one of us.
The online auction goes live at noon on Friday, January 23rd, and runs through 3 p.m. Friday, January 30th.
And be sure to come to the live auction Saturday, January 31st. Check-in starts at 6:30, and I will be the auctioneer.
And I'll be the auction queen.
Oh, thanks, Miss Othmar. Miss Othmar says she thinks she saw Snoopy out in the playground.
Recess!
I wouldn't advise him to try to kick a football. For the call to worship today, I have a reading from Rebecca Savage, which I got off the UUA website. And it's called Justice is Our Prayer. We gather together today with sacred intention to declare that justice is our prayer. We affirm in covenant with the beloved community that it is possible. Not here, not quite yet. The seeds have been planted time and again, and we remember all those who went before us, who made beloved community a dream that could be realized. Justice is our prayer. May our time of worship, service together, continue to water the budding trees of our diverse interdependence. May our time of worship give air and nourishment to the parts of our collective spirits that need to grow and thrive, that embrace equity as a known way of being. Justice is our prayer. We are firm in covenant with the beloved community that it is possible. May it be so. Let us worship together.
Please rise as you are willing and able for our opening hymn, number 155, Circle Round for Freedom.
us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
As Karen Burgee comes forward to light our chalice, we invite you to join us as we recite our covenant. Let us affirm that love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another.
May I have all the children come up, please? Hey, y'all. Hi, how's it going? Good. Okay, so I'm really happy to see you, truly, like so happy. And does anyone happen to know what Monday is? Say it.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
That's right. So has anyone ever heard of like marching? Like they went on these big marches. Okay, can you tell me about a march?
Like the freedom marches, like
Yep.
protesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that people know this is what we stand for. We show unity.
Yeah, absolutely. We show unity. This is what we stand for. Yes?
I turned 10 yesterday.
You turned 10? Oh my gosh, happy birthday. It was yesterday. Happy belated birthday. It's good to see you. So one of the things that I think is really cool about marches is that, you know, they're pretty nonviolent, right? Like generally the people marching aren't trying to march to like punch people in the face, unless you're someone else. But like generally, that's not what they're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna pass around just some interesting pictures. And I'm gonna ask you to give me some thoughts about it. So take one, pass it, take them, look at them. They're all pictures of different sort of protests. We've got Black Lives Matter, we have, there's climate justice, there's some Greta Thunberg in there. There's people protesting in Minnesota right now. There's people protesting against ICE. Why do you think people protest? Anyone? Yeah? Huh? Oh my goodness. Anybody? Why do we protest? Or why do people protest? Yes?
To change like politics and stuff.
Yeah, to change politics, policies, procedures, things that they think are unfair. Before we watch a tiny video, I know Reverend Rose is gonna like get me because she does not like videos. However, we're gonna watch a tiny video and it's of Marley Diaz, I think. Oh, you don't have to start it now. 1 second. Okay. And she's going to read a book to us. It's literally going to take like 2.5 minutes. It's called We March. Okay? We March. And it's about kind of how this little tiny church in the middle of like a little town actually decides to like get up and stand up for what they believe in. When we leave, like when the video is done, I'm going to ask us to do a little march. Okay? So I want you to be thinking about what you would want to march for in this church. We want more peanut butter cookies. We want more salad. I don't know. I don't know what you would want to march for, but you be thinking about it. Okay. Take a look. What are they?
Hi, I'm Riley Dias. Welcome to Bookmark, celebrating Black voices. We March is about taking action. So whether you're protesting, raising money, or collecting books, what counts is that you take action. We March is written and illustrated by Shane Evans and will be read by me.
The morning is quiet. The sun rises. And we prepare to march. We pray for strength. We work together. We come from all over to march. We follow our leaders.
Men, women, and children. We walk together. We sing. We are hot and tired, but we are filled with hope. We lean on each other as we march to justice, to freedom, to our dreams. My question to you all is, why do you think that people march or protest? Think about it, talk about it, and enjoy. Bye.
Okay. So what do we think we would want to march for? To change unfair laws. Absolutely. So can we, go ahead.
To get like new worldwide leaders.
New worldwide leaders, like maybe better leaders, like maybe people who actually lead. Yeah, I love that.
To get like people who are running for like leadership to like actually do good, like better things for the environment.
Yeah, so getting people who are in government to do better things and to help our world, climate change, and like even the social nonsense that we're in the midst of. All right, when I say go, we're all gonna stand up. Okay, all of us here, you don't have to stand up if you don't wanna stand up. We are gonna stand up and we're gonna march out that door and we're gonna demand cookies. We're demanding cookies. So, and candy. Got it. All right, so, and smoothies. Got it. Cookies, candy, and smoothies. We demand it. Everybody stand up. Let's go to class. Now I want to hear some yelling. There it is. There it is.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you.
Each month, we as a community take time to reflect on a theme. The children do this in their classes, and we do it here in worship and in our small groups. This month, the theme is practicing resistance. In his 1967 sermon entitled The Three Dimensions of a Complete Life, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "You know, a lot of people don't love themselves, and they go through life with deep and haunting emotional conflicts. So the length of life means that you must love yourself. And you know what loving yourself also means? It means that you've got to accept yourself." Dr. King understood that our outward struggle for justice is inextricably linked to our inward struggle for peace. If we enter the fray while still harboring haunting emotional conflicts, our service becomes an escape rather than a grounded gift. To accept ourselves is to acknowledge our unique shape, to stop trying to be the person someone else designed, and instead become the instrument we were actually meant to be. This intersection of self-acceptance and service is exactly where Satya Doyle-Bayok, a psychotherapist and author, begins her work. This month's Soul Matters packet links to Satya's list of 20 archetypes of resistance, created with a goal of widening our imagination and enabling us to more easily see our place in the work of resistance. Introducing the list, she writes, "I find that as I attempt to metabolize the news and feelings, I'm in a rapid alchemical process, morphing a bit like this, trying to uphold my daily responsibilities and rise to the moment all at once. At the root of this awkward inner morphing seems to be a question of my best role in these times. Where am I needed? How can I best serve?" She continues, "This is a long-haul battle we're all in. It will ask each of us to mature in ways I don't think we can yet imagine. We will each be called to rise to the challenge of finding that intersection between self and society that best reflects who we are. My goal is to stay out of fear, stay present with my loved ones and in my work, and also contribute to protecting our country and its people, lawful citizens or not." What follows is a list of ancient roles that go into the enduring work of transformation, peace, equality, and freedom. I'll offer a few examples. The cook. Without physical and spiritual nourishment, we all wither. The cook is a person in the community at any scale, in a refugee camp, a restaurant, a church basement, or a home, providing food to sustain bodies and beings. The cook brings their talents in the kitchen into the dining space as well, knowing that alongside a shared meal is community and connection. The artist helps us to see things we can't otherwise see and face things that we can't otherwise face. They help to metabolize the pain in the world and turn it into beauty, or use art to protest in ways that marching alone can't do. The artist may work in any medium, but uses their work to serve the soul, transform grief, and create in the face of destruction. The seed keeper. Some people are oriented to fighting back in the moment, and others are thinking far into the future, anticipating what will be destroyed and protecting what needs to be protected. The seed keeper may be saving actual seeds for future harvest, or they may be acting like seeds themselves, going deep underground or away from society to protect knowledge, artifacts, or life for another time. They tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. The Soul Matters packet asks us to consider what archetypes are missing from Satya Doyle-Bayok's list. As I sat with Dr. King's reminder that we must love and accept ourselves to live a complete life, I realized that many of the archetypes of resistance focus on what we give to the world, perhaps overlooking how we sustain the giver. If we do not explicitly name the roles of self-preservation, we risk treating our own souls as fuel to be burned rather than as the very length of life Dr. King urged us to protect. With that in mind, I'd like to make two additions that center the radical act of self-care. The sanctuary. If the world outside is cruel, the sanctuary ensures the world inside remains kind. This archetype treats their body and mind as sacred ground that must be defended against the encroachment of bitterness and exhaustion. They curate what they consume, be it food, media, or energy, to ensure they remain a vessel of peace rather than a mirror of the world's violence. They remind us that we cannot pour from an empty cup. And the hearth tender. Resistance is an endurance sport, and no flame can burn without fuel. The hearth tender recognizes that their own wellness is the foundation upon which all other work is built. By prioritizing rest, setting boundaries, and tending to their internal landscape, they ensure they do not become ash before the work is done. They model the idea that we are worthy of care simply because we exist, not just for our utility to a cause. Let's take this as our charge, to recognize that our resistance is only as strong as the love we hold for ourselves. May we find the courage to be our own sanctuary and the discipline to be our own hearth tender, knowing that by accepting and sustaining our lives, we are preserving a vital piece of the justice we are all fighting to realize. We come to this place to see and to be seen, to teach and be taught, to hear and be heard. Now reach over and nudge the person sitting next to you. We're here together, gathered in peace and authenticity and intention. We also come to this place to share our joys and sorrows. If you have a rare joy or a profound sorrow, please come forward and briefly share in 2 to 3 sentences and light a candle.
Hello. You don't have to applaud me for turning on the mic. Thank you, you sarcastic Unitarians. All right. I'm actually leading a meditation, so I shouldn't be funny. I guess I don't have a problem with that, right? When I looked at the script, I realized I had something I'd rather do, but I didn't send in a slide, so I'm going to show it to you. We're going to do a little bit of a Jewish God meditation. So I know that the G word can be a little controversial in the Unitarian setting, so I'm going to ask you to suspend your disbelief for the length of this exercise. So in Hebrew, the ineffable name of God is written Yud He Vav He. So I'm going to make sure that everybody sees this. And we are, so we're going to do a Yud He Vav He meditation. So you can see that we've written it in a vertical form. Of course, it would usually be horizontal from the right to the left, but we're doing it this goes from top to bottom. So the Yud is the top one, the He is the second one, the Vav is the third one, and the second He is the fourth one. So we map this onto the human body. So the Yud would essentially be your third eye. So, right? The He would be your body. We're going to do it as and the Vav would be your spine, and the second He. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to, the Yud we'll just have our breath out. The He will be an inhale. The Vav will be holding your breath for a moment, and the second He will be breathing out, right? So we're going to pause, we're going to breathe in, and we're going to pause, and then we're going to breathe out. And we're going to do this with the letters. So I'm going to ask you all to uncross yourself and put your feet on the ground, and try to straighten up, and unclench your jaw, and stop judging me. And so we're going to do this 4 times. All right, so we're starting with Yud. Yud, He, Vav, holding it. You don't have to repeat the letters. He. Yud, He, Vav, He. Yud, He, Vav, He. Yud, He, Vav, He. And just to conclude, I'll say that Rabbi Arthur Waskow, who was a leading light in Jewish renewal and a social justice warrior, passed away recently. And there's always a question about how to pronounce this word. It's presumed to be unpronounceable. But he said that the breath that you breathe in and out is the name of God. So he would say, "Blessed are you." Thank you.
We believe in justice. We believe in equity. We believe that love is at the center in solidarity. We believe in connection. We believe in curiosity. We believe that love is at the center of generosity. We believe in love, love. We believe in love at the center. We believe in love, love. the center. We believe in love.
Our reading today is I Dream a Home by Joanne Hickey, an evangelical Lutheran Church in America deacon in Wichita, Kansas. I dream a home for me with room for visitors, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 if we crowd together, but not too many to overwhelm or swarm around. I dream a home for me with some art from others and something I made, and a quilt from my grandma on the bed. I dream a home for me with quiet and calm and peace and nurture, a room of my own with Virginia Woolf and my other heroines, a solarium for praise and prayer. I dream a home for me where I am loved and criticism left out by the road, never to cross my threshold, where me and God make and dream a better world. I dream a home for me, a home for you, a world for us, a park, a store, a street, a school, where everyone knows that each belongs and we all have homes to call our own. I dream of rusted, broken guns and useless bullets when we become who we can be, a world, a home of opportunity shared by everyone. I dream, I pray, I know peace can't dwell in the depths of me or you while children die and mothers cry. I dream a world of dreams for all and safety everywhere, not just in zones. I dream a world for us where peace does reign in streets and schools and theaters. I dream a home for you. I dream a home for me. I hold the dream. I hold the dream. I hold the dream.
Good morning, friends. It's good to be with you again. This morning, first of all, how many people went to the rally this week? Did anybody go to the rally this week? All right. Hey, I saw you there. Great. I want to start by sharing a couple of things that I've been saying in my talks and sermons recently, including at the Human Needs or Human Rights rally this week at the State House in Topeka. We are, each of us, every single one of us, both trying to withstand and to make our way through. Thich Nhat Hanh, take a breath. Trying to both withstand and make our way through incredibly challenging times. America is showing its dark underbelly. The original sins of the United States, racism, poverty, and militarism are all in power right now with very little effective restraint. The wealthy and powerful are completely protected from the consequences of their actions, as the Epstein Files saga shows us. The wealth of the country is shoveled into the pockets of billionaires, while the needs of the people are ignored. And the poor, and not even just the poor, are insulted as lazy welfare cheats, while the super rich sail in yachts that they bought with our money. And of course, there are those whose lives are valued even less than that. From Gaza to Minneapolis, to the 1.2 million people incarcerated in state and federal prisons in this country, whom we often forget. You may have been surprised that they shot a white woman in the face, but when white nationalism sees white people standing with the other, white nationalism sees white people standing with the other as treason. worthy of death. That is what we're dealing with. We sometimes forget that the tenuous democracy that we have had in this country only dates from the Voting Rights Act in 1965, when the right to vote was, at least in theory, extended universally. And the backlash to that was immediate. Voting Rights Act was in 1965, and George Wallace was running on a segregation platform in 1968. And now it's been torn down, as the governing philosophy on both the national and on the state level is white Christian nationalism. Whites on top, men on top, Christians on top, and everyone is either deported, tolerated, or killed. The structures of laws and norms that we depended on for these 2 or 3 generations have collapsed. There's no returning to the garden, and we have to recognize that 1 or 2 elections is not going to fix this. But opposed to this, we have a vision. We have a dream, lest I say. A positive vision of a multicultural, multiracial, multi-ethnic America, all of us being equal under the eyes of the law as well as in the eyes of God. This is the promise of our founding documents, and even though we've never really realized it, we've always struggled to realize it. It's a vision that we are fighting for, that is worth fighting for, because it calls us to be better people, to be a better nation, and to build a better world. We only have to go back to Scripture for our guidance. We are commanded to care for the orphan, the widow, and the immigrant. We are commanded to treat the least of these as we would treat God. The morality of the situation is not complicated at all, even though we're sometimes shy at asserting it. But let me make it simpler for you. If the argument is that empathy is a dirty word, then you've lost the plot. So I found myself recently revisiting Dr. King's final book, which was published after his death, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community? Even though he died nearly 60 years ago, I believe that Dr. King had a very perceptive analysis of the troubles that beset our world and our country. These he referred to as the terrible triplets of racism, economic exploitation, and talking about peace while pursuing ever bigger military budgets and ever greater and more devastating weapon systems. In our days, accompanied by surveillance technology, drones, and all of that. This is the text in which Dr. King said, a nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death. And this year we spent $900 billion, spending $900 billion on defense, plus $48.5 billion over 10 years for the ICE Gestapo. And we are spiritually on life support. Dr. King said we need a revolution of values. You're probably familiar with this language. He said, I'm quoting, "We must rapidly begin the shift from a thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society. When machines and computers, profit motives, and property rights are considered more important than people, the giant triplets of racism, materialism, and militarism are incapable of being conquered," end quote. My friends, as this country and many others around the world seem to go backwards, we need to be the ones who claim our moral authority and to help bring about that revolution of values. Dr. King writes, "Our only hope today lies in our ability to recapture the revolutionary spirit and go out into a sometimes hostile world declaring eternal opposition to poverty, racism, and militarism." Revolutionary spirit. None of this is any different today. I find myself increasingly frustrated with our inability to make change through normal political processes, of trying to get crumbs from a rigged system. I've spent the last 10 years trying to cut 2 or 3 degrees of bad off bad legislation. Now more than ever, but it's not working, because they just wait another year and they get what they want. So now more than ever, we need that revolutionary spirit, that revolution of values. We need to organize for and demand a massive and permanent change in this country, where the things that are necessary to human life and flourishing are not only available to the wealthy, that housing and health care and food and clean water and electricity and a stable climate should be available to all, and not parceled out by people who don't care if we live or die for their own profit. We are here to change the conversation from what can we get to what do we need. From surviving on the bare minimum to thriving at our fullest potential. We have to say and to organize for and to live the idea that human needs are human rights. Let this spirit become the order of the day. Whether we are believers in the traditional sense or not, we take seriously the instructions of our sacred text to care for the orphan, the widow, and the immigrant. Too often we have given away our moral power, but we cannot afford to do that anymore. The biggest problem I fear, and some of you are probably thinking it right now, is despair. The idea is that things can't get better, that we've lost control of the situation. The temptation to give in and give up to those who would love to see us broken and defeated. Yet in his I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King said, "Let us not wallow in the valley of despair." And another quote, you're going to love this one, that I rely on is when Gandalf says, "Despair is only for those who see the end beyond all doubt. We do not." In fact, we see green shoots of hope all around us. In the people who gather on street corners on Saturdays in protest, in the 650 people who came to Topeka on Wednesday, in the people of Minneapolis or Los Angeles standing up against white nationalist militias known as ICE, in those who escort immigrants out of court hearings or give mutual aid to those who are afraid to venture out of their homes, and the people who risk their livelihoods to stand up for the people of Palestine. Our most important role, my friends, is to nurture the belief that the world can be a better place and we can help to make it so. And when I think about the world being a better place, I think about, my mind goes to the story of the Israelites crossing the desert. I've been thinking about this story a lot lately. We're almost, in the yearly Torah reading, we're almost at the part where we come to this story. My loss of faith in Israel has caused me to look at this story with new eyes. So just speaking from my experience as a sort of somebody who grew up during the halcyon days of American Zionism, the story of the trek across the desert was always taught to me in a very concrete fashion, as if they were going across the desert to establish the modern state of Israel. Very concrete. But in addition to being anachronistic, I think this reading undercuts the powerful universal symbolism of the desert story. This is all the more so when we consider that the next book in the narrative, which is the book of Joshua, recounts a invasion of the land that only can be described as genocidal. So, rabbis took great pains to kind of separate out Jewish practice from this story. It never occurred to me that people could actually use it as a guide to modern warfare, but that seems to be the case. And it resonates. This story of the Joshua story of the genocide resonates too well in our times. If this is as good as it gets, no wonder we've lost our optimism about the future. That makes it all the more important that we scrape off this ethno-nationalist reading and try to recapture that sense of promise that was implicit in a more metaphorical sense, and what I would now say is a more hopeful reading. That this is not all there is. There is a better place, a promised land. I look at Exodus 12:8, which says, "A mixed multitude went with them." It wasn't an Israelites-only club. I knew through my work and my relationships that I have much more in common with a Christian or a Muslim or an agnostic who shares my values than I do with a Jew who doesn't. I'll leave Unitarians out of that because I share your values pretty strongly. And I know that the same dynamic exists in other religions as well, and also in the American civic religion, and it's along the fault lines I mentioned earlier, the contention, so to put it, that Jesus is the only way to heaven, and the message of care and concern that we see in our sacred texts of the orphan, the widow, and the immigrants. A focus on caring for the marginalized, the preferential option for the poor, as the Catholic Church says it, the clarion call for justice. My friends, we are the mixed multitude. We are crossing this wilderness together, and it will take all of us, and our children, probably, to make it across. We don't know what that promised land looks like or how long it will take us to get there. But we must believe, we must know in the depths of our being that it is there. and we will do what it takes to move us and our world a little closer to it. To do that, we need Dr. King's revolution of values. We must, each of us, promote and stand for and live for and maybe even die for our sacred values, the worth and value of every individual, the responsibility of each of us toward all of us, justice, kindness, democracy, equity, not only tolerance of, but celebration of diversity, open inquiry, care for the orphan, the widow, and the immigrant, care for God's creation. These are not platform planks or partisan talking points. They are the very essence of what it means to be a person of faith, a person of justice in our times. This is the quote, "Our only hope today lies in our ability to recapture the revolutionary spirit and go out into a sometimes hostile world declaring eternal opposition to poverty, racism, and militarism. It is our sacred responsibility to strive for and demand a nation and a world where the needs and the dignity of every human being are no longer a dream deferred, but a way of life. May we come together in this effort, may our efforts meet with success, and may we as a people get that much closer to the promised land." Thank you.
The work of the church depends on us, our generosity of time, wisdom, and financial resources. We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values.
So someday I will come to this church and not sing a Dylan song, but that day is not today. Far beneath the sundown's finish and midnight's broken toll, we ducked inside the doorways, thunder crashing. Wait, I'm going to do this in a different key. Sorry. It's better. As majestic bells of bolts struck shadows in the sounds, seeming to be the chimes of freedom flashing for the warriors whose strength is not to fight, flashing for the refugees on the unarmed road of flight, and for each and every underdog soldier in the night. We gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. Through the city's melted furnace, unexpectedly we watched, with faces hidden as the walls were tightening. As the echo of the wedding bells before the blowing rain dissolved into the bells of lightning, tolling for the rebel, tolling for the rake, tolling for the luckless, the abandoned and forsake, tolling for the outcasts, burning constantly at stake. We gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. Even though a cloud's white curtain in a far-off corner flared, and the hypnotic splattered mist was slowly lifting, electric light still struck like shadows, fired for the ones condemned to drift or else be kept from drifting. Tolling for the searching ones on their speechless seeking trail, for the lonesome-hearted lovers with too personal a tale. And for each unharmful, gentle soul misplaced inside a jail, we gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing. Starry-eyed and laughing, I recall when we were caught, trapped by no track of hours, for they hang suspended. As we listened one last time, and we watched with one last look, spellbound and swallowed till the tolling ended. Tolling for the aching ones whose wounds cannot be nursed, for the countless confused, accused, misused, strung out ones and worse, and for each and every hung up person in the whole wide universe. We gazed upon the chimes of freedom flashing.
Let us affirm that we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, number 95, There is More Love Somewhere.
going to share with you an interpretive version of the priestly blessing from Deuteronomy that was written by my friend and colleague, Kohenet, so she's a priestess, Kashira Love Fife. And it goes like this. May you always feel blessed and held. May you always feel the warm, gracious energy of the sun. May you see the divine spark in every face that you encounter. And may peace be yours always. Go in peace.